Hi, this is Suhaib from MABRIK, and today we are going to have a small overview of Heat, a Formula One racing game that does not involve any luck, and it's all based on your skills and decisions of what you do. So, opening up the box for the first time, the game itself is going to, of course, come up with a manual, because if you don't know how to play the game, then you can play the game. And then it comes up with some board components which define certain conditions and certain actions that are happening on the track. A really nice looking player board where your cards, your draw pile, and certain good and bad things that are going to happen to the players are going to be there. And we end up getting track boards. To start out with, these are all double-sided boards, and you get to have two of them. With the starting box, you get to have 4 tracks to play with, and they have already have created a beginner-friendly version, which you would most definitely use when you start playing the game for the first time. And then you get some old school F1 cars, and you get to pick whichever one you want to run with your gear tokens. Your sheet board or the player board is where you're going to use them. You get a bunch of cards which are going to be utilized for playing the game itself and defining if you are, how much speed you're going with, if some bad things are happening or good things are happening, and so on. So opening up the decks, you're going to get 3 sets of decks, more or less, which have mixed number of cards for different players, in which you are going to get speed cards which define how many numbers you're going to move on the board. You get some equipment cards which gives you some benefits, and most of them you add to the game at the start. And you get things like stress cards, that is more or less you picking up cards from the deck without looking what there is and applying the speed to it. And then you have the heat cards, which probably are something you want to avoid. The game itself is very simple to play. That's why it is one of the best games for beginners, if this is a theme that they absolutely like. So players whose turn it is, they just have 7 cards that they draw, and they're always supposed to have 7 cards. So at the end of the turn, you get to draw back to the full hand size. You choose to either gear up or gear down depending on where you are, because the gear you're in is how many cards you get to play. The cards you play have speed number on it, and you move to the sum of the numbers there. If you're in the corner or you're cornering and your speed is bigger than the corner number, you crash. And that is where the management side of the game more or less comes in. You have to sometimes take risky decisions, or to move on big steps and then try to come back down, or you go take it slow. But who wants to go slow in a racing game? I mean, you're supposed to go fast, right? And every time you crash, you add a heat card to your discard pile, which shuffles back into your deck once you've played all of the card and your deck runs empty. Heat cards are not good. They are mostly threat, they're useless, and they don't give you anything, any benefit. So you want to avoid crashing as much as possible. An interesting mechanic in the game is what we call slipstream, or what the game calls slipstream. So if you end your turn right behind or to the side of your opponent, you get to move 2 steps forward. And this is the only way where you might have more speed, but you can still move ahead in the corner, because the slipstream does not count towards the speed you have gained. Another thing that modifies the map, because other than the cards, there are interactions with the map. You can define weather conditions, more or less. Each of the card tells what happens, and different track segments have different benefits or losses that happen by modifying the board with using these small tokens. As with any racing game, the goal is pretty simple. You go fast, you cross the lap as fast as you can. The first player to cross laps twice and comes in the first wins the game. You can play the board game with up to 6 players, which is not that uncommon or rare, but still 6-player games are quite less, and the ones that I enjoy to play are that much lesser. And Heat is definitely one of the games I would recommend to play if you're just gathering and having some casual fun. I'm saying casual, but it will get very competitive, as most of the games do, because beating your friends is one of the best things you can do in game, of course. Another aspect of the game that you may like is that nothing in the game itself is per chance, other than the deck of the draw. As similar board games exist, where speed and everything is controlled by the dice. It's why I enjoy Heat a lot more. With that said, if Heat is the game that you're interested in playing, this copy we just opened, it is free to play at our store in Tuukri. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and till next time, peace out.